Merry meet everyone. Tonight I am making my Halloween tree, and I thought I would do a video just kind of showing you how I conduct this craft. I will be uploading this as well on my Facebook channel to serve as my day 29 of my 30 days of magic. So, I am calling this craft my Halloween tree. However, I think the more proper name would be a Thanksgiving tree or a harvest tree, as that it will be very much about thanks and gratitude. When I first saw the tree, I kind of thought, oh, I can have it for not only giving thanks, but also for manifesting new things, creating new things, basically kind of more of a wish tree, things I wanted or things I felt I needed. I would basically write on ribbon, then tie it to the branches on the tree, and it would be kind of a reminder of things that I'm working towards, or the idea came about to kind of witchify the tree itself, and it will serve to work as kind of a craft spell. So as I was going through that today and kind of plotting out in my head how I wanted to phrase the spell, what herbs I wanted to use, things like that, it kind of occurred to me that I kept coming back to, I want this, I want that, I want it to do this, I want it to do that, I want it to help me do this because I want to do that. There's just a lot of want in my vocabulary today while I was working on it, and that's all well and good. I think wanting is definitely a part of human nature. It's definitely a part of who we are, and that's a major component to what makes us witches. We understand that if we want something, we have the power to make it into a reality. We just need to work with some energy and kind of produce the correct environment, and we can do anything we put our mind to, in essence. But it kept hitting me after I made my Mabon incense yesterday that so much of this Sabbath is about thankfulness. And every other Mabon I've I don't want to say took part in, because it's not like I've conducted a ritual or anything for it, but everything I've observed, every Mabon I've observed, that's the correct terminology, I think, it's been about balance for me. It's about acknowledging light and dark, not only in myself but also in nature, and really being meditative about that, and going inward. And this Mabon, I am really feeling the opposite effect. I as much as going inward it is going to happen anyway, because I think I just get reflective as it is when it comes to Sabbaths. I'm feeling called to really go outward with it, looking about me to see what I can do, making sure that I am giving thanks properly and to everyone, because there's so many people to give thanks to, and taking it a step further and not just giving thanks, but being a reason someone else is thankful. And I definitely need to work on the energy of just being grateful. And I apologize if this is getting tangent-y. It really speaks to a larger, I don't want to say issue, but it speaks to a larger theme that seems to be playing out a lot for me lately, and so I think it's something that I need to be paying attention to, and maybe it might speak to someone else as well, so I will mention it. I think as a society we get so bogged down with things we want and things we quote-unquote need, and the reality is we really don't need for a lot of things. I don't mean to say not everyone does. I am fully aware there are people that are in need, and that's kind of my point. For example, I have never gone hungry. I've been hungry, but it's never been, oh my gosh, where am I going to get my next meal from? I've never known that. But I have friends that have known that. I mean, people I actually know, people that I would consider to be good friends of mine, have had that uncertainty of where are they getting their next meal from. That is insane to me. It's insane to me that that was happening and I wasn't even aware. And then if we broaden the picture even more to people we don't know, can you imagine what people are going through? Every day downtown I drive by numerous people holding signs, and every time I pass by one of them I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know what you'll spend your money on. And the reality is that's not on me. That's on them. I talk myself out of helping others because I don't know that what they will do with the help I offer, I don't know that that will be used for good, for lack of a better phrase. I want to make sure that my help is not being misused, and that's probably speaks to an underlying issue that I have with trust. But for all intents and purposes, I need to make the step to be the reason someone is thankful and grateful and happy. And it doesn't need to be some huge gesture. It doesn't need to be some altruistic thing. I mean, it could just be, instead of, at work, instead of, just acting like I don't hear my coworkers when they're struggling with something, offer help. When my daughter's being particularly fussy or ornery, instead of getting frustrated and berating her, taking that breath and realizing as a mother I need to be not 3-year-old. I mean, it can be anything, but just looking at what you have, and I think understanding that what you have is pretty amazing, especially if we do look back in our ancestors. I mean, their idea of sacrifice is so different than our idea of sacrifice, It's just worlds away, and I'm not saying that we should be like them. I understand times have changed. We don't need to, kill our own cattle. We can just go to the grocery store and there will be some that are packaged for us. Or if you don't eat meat, we don't need to go and pick our own corn. It's already done for us. We don't need to do a lot of manual labor because we have farmers, we have agriculturists, we have all these things that they did not have in those days. So I'm not saying we live like them, but I'm saying we can take a page from their book and understand what they went through and give thanks for what they went through to better our future, and maybe look at those around us that don't have it as easy as we might and find ways to help them out. I know at least once a week we usually get a pizza, and it's, a pizza and cheese bread for the family is about $30 after tip. Why not just make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that night and bring the $30 down to a food shelf and donate it? It's just little things like that. And all it really needs, for me at least, to take notice of it is just a moment to pause and just have a thought about it. Because as soon as I start thinking of things I'm thankful for and things that I look at my life and go, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how blessed I am, instantly I start thinking, what can I do for someone else so that they can feel even just a portion of this. And this tree, I think, will definitely help with that. It will be a constant reminder that I have so many things to be thankful for, so many things to be grateful about. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So many things to be grateful about. And instead of just sitting here and thinking about what more I want, I can look at this tree and think about things that I already have and continue to nourish those, but also maybe take a step further and find things I can nourish in others to help them get the same amount of gratitude that I feel. I don't know if any of that makes sense. I really felt called to say something about that. And also entitlement, I swear, real quick. Everyone has problems. Everyone has trials and tribulations. Everyone has hard times. It's part of life. And I understand just stating it's a part of life doesn't make it any easier. It sucks. I truly believe that. And your pain, all of our pain is valid. It has a purpose. It has a point. It comes from somewhere that is very personal and very intimate. But the minute I start to feel that pain go towards a self-pitying area, where I suddenly feel like I'm victimized because I can't go shopping for a new shirt and it's been a while since I've bought a new outfit. Really? Seriously, Anna? That's what you're gonna freak out about? Just put it into perspective. That's all I think we need to do with so many of our issues as a society. So many times there's things that we're just up in arms about, and some things that are very valid, some things we should get angry about, some things we should say, you know what, enough is enough. But there's also a good amount of things where if we really look at it, I think we'll realize there's better things we could be putting our energy into. And that's what it comes down to. It's our energy. We're choosing to be hurt or upset or resentful or bitter about something that ultimately probably doesn't make a whole lot of, I don't want to say difference, but it isn't conducive to anything. It doesn't help. Carrying bitterness and resentfulness about things that, if you look at, aren't there definitely are valid reasons to be resentful and bitter and hurt, don't get me wrong, but like for me, getting upset because money's a little tight and I can't go to my witchy shop every payday, being resentful or envious of someone that can do that, how is that helpful to me? It's not. It's much more productive and much more energizing and much more giving to be thankful for what I do have, to be grateful for the gifts that I have been given. That's how we're going to change the world. That's how we're going to make a difference, is by acknowledging what amazing gifts we have and nurturing those and having those grow and helping others grow theirs, and just imagine the difference that could make. If we take, if we acknowledge what amazing things we have going for us and then look at someone else and help them see what amazing things they have in them, see their potential, imagine what kind of world this would be if everyone paid it forward. And not just talked about paying it forward, but actually paid it forward. Even if it's just 50 cents in the McDonald's bin when you go through drive-thru. Just something. Anything. And that is the intent in this tree. Getting back to the craft at hand. I'm sorry about that. It's just, those thoughts have kind of been swirling in my head all day, and I knew it was something that, okay, if it stayed in my mind this long, I definitely need to say things. But that's that's the reasoning behind the tree. That's my hope and my intent in this tree, is that it not only sends my thanks and sends my offerings out to the Lord, the Lady, the good folk, the spirits of the elements, spirits of my ancestors, you know, just out into the universe to give thanks, but also to serve as a reminder to me of, you know, wow, I do have a ton of things that are great. You have a bad day at work, you come home and you look at the tree and you go, wow, you know, I've got a lot of good stuff going for me. Even though I'm in a crappy place right now, because it's going to happen, I've got a lot of things going for me. And maybe that will help me get motivated and get inspired to help others. So I feel like I've charged my intent enough. I definitely have an idea there. Sometimes when I'm crafting, I'll go off on tangents like that and just kind of go where spirit takes me and just kind of talk. And although I'll look like a crazy person, it helps me focus and helps me center and helps me realize this is why I'm doing this. This is what the purpose for this is. And it just brings it home for me. So now to get to the brass tacks. What I have done so far, this is a tree that I picked up at Target in their dollar section. It was $3. It came with this little burlap sack. It was around the tree, so it looked kind of like that, except I've taken it apart for crafting purposes. Oh no, did I lose? I might have lost the little band that was tying it, but you know what? We'll make do. It'll be fine. Because I do want to put it back together after a bit. So I took it apart so I could get some herbs in the base as well as put my spell around it. Originally I planned on writing the spell on the bottom of the tree or on the side, but the burlap was a little difficult to write on, so I still wrote an abbreviated version of the spell. I'll read the full spell for you in a bit. I can't, honestly, I was saying it aloud while I wrote it here, so I know it's got its foundation set, so I'm good, but I can't tell you what it says because I can't read the burlap. But sometimes when you're writing a spell or an incantation or however you look at it, inspirational musings, even if you write it on a surface and later you go, I can't read that, I have no clue what that meant, especially if you wrote it from your own heart, from your own soul, even if you can't read it again later, the intent is in the craft. It's already in there. You gave it when you thought up those words. You gave it when you took pen to paper or pen to cloth or however it works. I know a lot of people, when they make gree-gree bags, which I want to make very soon here, I have to make them, they'll actually speak words into the bag. They'll speak the intent as opposed to writing. I like to write and speak, but everyone has their own way. So, yeah, sorry, I still have a lot of stuff that needs to find its way to its home. Oh, no, you're you. That's not it. There it is. It did come with a plastic bag around the base, and I was going to get rid of it, but the stone itself is very crumbly, so I do want to put it in there. But I thought to help, I want to get rid of this real quick too. I thought to help, what I would do is put some herbs in the bag to keep the roots of the tree, the figurative roots of the tree, charged up with magical intent. What I've done with the herbs is these are in and of themselves representing the Lord, the Lady, the good folk, the spirits of the elements, and the intent of this craft. So I have mistletoe in this mixture for air, cinnamon for fire, yarrow for water, patchouli for earth. I have oak moss for spirit, which also is an herb for Mabon, and I wanted to include that. There's some lovely oak moss there. Normally I would have used oak leaves, but I am out. I swore I had more somewhere and I cannot find them. And unfortunately, I don't have an oak tree near me anymore. So, I've got roses for the lady. I just pulled 3 rose petals off of a dried rose that I had. Lavender for the good folk. Amber oil for the Lord. And then I have 3 little bellflowers in here for to symbolize gratitude, which is what it's all about. All of these things I have used as an offering for their respective correspondences. Roses are preferred offering for hell. Lavender is also an offering for the good folk. Usually it's around midsummer, but I'm still good with it. I still feel connected to it. And amber oil, as I've said, huge offering of mine that I use for Carnunos. So I've kind of meshed them all together. Now I'm going to put them in the plastic bag. Normally when I'm making crafts, I don't like to use plastic. It is not natural, but like I said, it is part of the craft that I purchased, and the craft itself is plastic and glittery. So it's not the most organic of spells that I've created, but I still really like the symbolism of it, and I love what it will be, despite the man-madeness of it. So I've got the herbs in there. I have already cleansed and charged them before beginning the video. I do kind of want to, I don't want it to affect how I probably should have put them on top. I'm trying to put the herbs around the stone, but in the same breath, the stone has to sit flat, otherwise it's going to cause issues. So we're just going to leave it like that. It's going to be a little wonky, but it will make do. Excuse me. Now, this is just a napkin. When I was trying to figure out where I could write the spell, since the burlap wasn't working the way I was hoping, I found this napkin, and I really liked the color. It's very grounding, very nature-centric. And I used my gold pen, and I wrote the spell. It goes like this. On this tree give thanks to all, like crows on the wind, hear my call. I honor those who aid and help me through. I thank those who strengthen me, my words are for you. Let these ribbons wave and fly, like autumn leaves against the night sky. I write and say these words in truth and love, as below and so above. By my will and the power of 3, let my gratitude take root, so mote it and blessed be. And then I signed it at the bottom, Anastasia Autumnfire. And now what I'm going to do is put my tree smack dab in the middle of it and bring it up. And I do that because I want this tree, I want the intent to take root. I want this spell to be brought up through the branches, even though it's in like plaster stone and is made out of plastic and glitter. I still visualize it very much as a living, breathing tree. That is what it's supposed to symbolize, so that is how the spell is going to work. So I want that to be where the roots are. And then, I cannot believe I lost that little thing. Arrgh. Anyway, then I'm going to place it around this, and actually the burlap is giving me another little thread. Hopefully that will hold. And I'm going to knot it 3 times. Once, twice, and thrice. And I actually kind of like the napkin part kind of hanging out there. It makes it look a little bit more earthy, I think. I like that. Gives it a little contrast. So, the spell is made. What will happen next is I'm going to start this a little bit earlier. It basically was going to start on Mabon, but since I've got it made and ready to go, I'm actually going to start this tomorrow, so the day before Mabon. And I've got 3 different colors of ribbon. I've got yellow ribbon, orange ribbon, and green ribbon. And the idea is to take that ribbon and to write things I am thankful for in my life. I see my life as having 2 different aspects. I've got the mundane or the everyday, and I've got the magical or my spiritual path. And I differentiate those with the ribbon. The mundane will be yellow, because yellow I see very much as not only a harvest color, because that was important that all 3 colors be harvest colors, but yellow I see as being very joyful, very happy and positive, but also about abundance and prosperity in the physical realm. I see it very much tied to gold or money, and that is very much a concept for this plane. I don't suspect once I cross to the spirit plane I will be all that worried or concerned about money anymore, but in this life, oh yeah, it's a thing. So so that's why I chose yellow ribbon for my mundane thoughts of thankfulness or gratitude. Orange, ever since I was a little girl, orange has been the color for Halloween, orange and black, and orange has been therefore a very spiritual color for me. Again, color correspondence wise, it's about energy, it's about fire, it's about it's about joy and happiness. Very much a positive color still, but I tend to view it as a bit more of a spiritual color simply because of its connection to Halloween. And granted, I understand that isn't perhaps so magical, but for me, when you're a kid and you feel like this is a special night, you can feel that veil being so thin, and there being that connection to the other realm, and you can just feel it in the air, you feel an electricity, and that is a major contributor to why I am the person I am today in my belief structure as far as spirituality is concerned, because from a young child I knew there had to be something else, because why else would I experience this on Halloween? And orange being part of that just really relates to me, or resonates with me, I should say, as a spiritual color. Perhaps not the way blue or purple or lilac do, but it's still very much a joyous spiritual color for me. And then I've got the color green. Again, I view this as a harvest color, which is very important. I only wanted harvest colors on here because these blessings or musings of thankfulness, these are all things I have harvested or am harvesting as we speak, and I do, that's what I'm giving thanks for. And the green I'm actually using to promote self-love. Mabon does take place in September. I am still very much dedicated to Self-Love September, so I wanted that to have a place in this craft. And I also, I really think with everything I've kind of discovered and am learning along my path in Self-Love September, I am realizing just how far I am coming with it, but also how much more further I have to go. And it very much is a healing process for me personally. So green again speaks to that. It talks about growth. It still talks about that abundance and that success, but it's a very healing and calming color, and that is what I personally need to continue my work with self-love. So I'm also going to put that on the tree. So if I'm having a rough day and just struggling and maybe I don't feel too terribly pretty, because that happens, it's a frump day, you know, I might take a moment to look at myself in the mirror and go, you know what, I might feel out of it, but you know, I'm having a good hair day. Or if I am having a frump day and I'm wearing my hat, which happens a lot lately, no, screw it. I like how I look in my hat. Just something even just silly and nonsensical as that. I'll put that on a ribbon and put that on my tree because I do feel good about that. And I think it's very good to acknowledge outside forces, you know, in the mundane life. Acknowledge your loved ones, acknowledge your partner, your children, your family, your friends, your cohorts at work, certainly. When you're working on your spiritual path, you know, the good folk, the Lord, the Lady, the universe in and of itself, Mother Earth, the sun, the moon, however you look at it, acknowledge those energies and thank those energies because they do work within you. But I think a lot of times, and this may sound selfish and I so don't mean it to, but I think a lot of times we shortchange ourselves. We do a lot of work within us. We do a lot of acknowledgement. We do a lot of shadow work. But we are determined little buggers, if you think about it. As a human race, we can do so many wonderful things. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm still getting over this last bit of cold. But we can do so much, and when we do, 9 times out of 10, at least I find this in myself, I still discount it. Even something as trivial as karaoke. I love karaoke. I am told I can sing well. I think I can sing well. But the minute someone else says, oh my gosh, you killed it on that song, or something like that, I immediately downplay it. Nah, it's not that good. Or, oh, well, you've had a few tonight, so of course you think that. And that's just a real basic, trivial, superficial talent. I mean, it's nothing truly, well, it can be truly meaningful if you use it for purposes other than just barroom entertainment, I suppose. But I mean, it's not like someone's saying, you are such an amazing mother. The way you do this, that, or the other thing with your little girl, it is just amazing. Something like that is humbling. Something like that would definitely make me just kind of go, oh my gosh, are you serious? It's just like if someone comments on a post or something and says, oh my gosh, that candle is beautiful, or oh my gosh, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I don't even know what to say to you. I am just so in awe and in gratitude, and I'm so taken aback by that because it means so much to me. But something like just singing at karaoke, that should not, well, it doesn't take me aback like that. It doesn't shake the world for me. So I should be able to just accept that, because it doesn't put me in a place of humbleness. It just puts me in a, oh, well, thanks. You know, why can't we just say thank you? Why can't we just acknowledge that we do some things well, even if they're silly, nonsensical things, and go, you know, thanks, and take pride in it? And I think that's something I need to work on. Both in the humbling, awe-inspiring, are you serious, I can't believe you think that kind of ways, but certainly in this, you know, hey, your eye makeup looks good today. Just something that is just a flyby compliment. I need to embrace those. I need to accept those, and I need to start making some of those to myself. I need to acknowledge that I do things correctly, and I do things right, and I do take pride in things. And I'm hoping that this tree will help remind me of that. So anyway, I think I've rambled on enough considering we're over 35 minutes. I'm so sorry. I will show this as my progress goes when we get closer to Samhain. I'm sure this will probably take its place on my altar. But yeah, basically all that I'm going to do is, if I did a really good job at work that day, write down, I figured out what this one client was looking for, and I figured it out super quick, so yay me. Write it on a yellow ribbon, tie it off to a branch. If I have an epiphany while meditating with Hel or Cernunnos, or I craft something that I really dig, you know, grab an orange ribbon, write it down, tie it to a branch. If I have an aha moment with my daughter and I want to give myself a little shout out for developing further with my patience, I view that as a self-love thing, because when it comes to mothering, I very much struggle with it, and that kind of goes above a mundane everyday thing for me, because it is so close to my heart. It is part of me, so I do view that as a self-love affirmation. So I'll grab a green ribbon and write that down and tie it up. Like I said, I already do something pretty similar to this with my Cernunnos altar, except that is a wish tree as well. I do give thanks to Cernunnos specifically on that tree, or branches of oak, but I do also have wishes, and this is strictly for gratitude, strictly for thankfulness. And my hope is that not only will I be able to use it for my own development, but I'm hoping it will help motivate me and remind me that I can make a difference in other people's development. I can give to my community, I can give to Mother Earth, I can give to others, and maybe make a difference in their life as well. So, after a very long-winded video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, please subscribe, please feel free to comment. I usually reply really quick because I have no life and get excited about silly things like that. As always, blessed be, have a wonderful night. And tomorrow I will be back with my final craft, and I'm so excited. Thank you again. Bye.